Hello. So we have to come up with a system, I think. Some kind of system, even if we can't measure it, but some kind of system on trusting going forward and in putting trust into the new person. Because I know I trust too fast. I absolutely know I trust too fast. I tend to, and I don't know, maybe you're the same way, I tend to trust somebody automatically. Like I lead with trust. That's insanity. Think about it. Not even just in a narcissistic relationship, in life. I automatically have always assumed the person that I give them a lot in the beginning. I trust that they're where they say they're coming from. And I'm not saying I like every person I meet, but I trust they're showing me who they are. Or, you know what I mean? And I trust them. I do. I think I do. Now, I started to think of this. My brother always had this fun thing he does. It's not fun. It's just the way he works. His mind is military. He's ex-military. And when he is in a restaurant, he starts the tip at a certain percentage. And he's like, if they forget something or they did this, or blah, 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 and then boom, 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 and he comes up with the tip percentage. They lose points. Like they start at 25% or whatever he does. And then if they forgot his drink, they lost 2%. Or he has a whole, not a finite system, but that's kind of how he does it. I don't even do anything near that when it comes to knowing people. Like the narcissist, I went in full on and trusted automatically that everything they said was fantastic. And then as they did infractions, points came off the trust meter, and that's where we land in never trusting them at all anymore. I think instead, in the future, I'm going to kind of look at it like the tipping system, but I think I'm going to make people start from zero. And I'm not trying to say I'm bringing negativity forward, but I think you can be very positive and have a lovely evening with somebody. It doesn't mean I have to trust them. I just met them. What was I thinking? I do tend to be a very trusting person, and I have to look at that to protect myself. So they should start, I'm sorry, at zero and have to work up. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you go on a date with someone, they come recommended to you through a friend, it's a friend of a friend, they vouch for them. Okay, maybe their trust starts out at a 80%. Just on word of mouth alone. You heard they were a good person, you trust this person, so by proxy, there's a little bit built in about the person's character, right? So let them start at 80%. Maybe 20%, who knows? I don't know, but I am going to think of it going forward is what I'm saying, and I want you to as well. Because let me tell you something, as we all know, unless you're in a relationship with someone, you're not going to know that that person is narcissistic and dysfunctional. So you could even have a friend recommending their friend. My narcissist friend thinks he's the most fun guy in the world. I venture to say, though, that they wouldn't recommend him to their sister. Like, they know, they see it, right? But you might have a friend who doesn't see it and just sees him as a fun-loving guy and he tries to fix you up. You still need to have your eyes open to develop your own trust. But I am no longer, and if you're the type, try to watch that. I'm not starting from, I can't believe I used to just go into it like that. Like I just assumed everybody were good people. I didn't know that they were people that would lie and manipulate and cheat on purpose from the get-go. I don't know. I always associated that behavior with stuff that happened once the relationship became stale or people fought a lot, or I did not know that there were disordered narcissistic people that went into it lying and knew the whole time they were going to lie and they had no intentions of ever being real or pure or honest. I had no idea that there were people that way. Oh my God. And then I think back, oh my God, who else have I trusted completely and never really, obviously, have exited the relationship since here I sit. But I wonder how many other times I trusted people and I should not have. So I think going forward, it's going to be smart. I am going to employ something like that tipping system that my brother looks, and I'm going to let them add on points. Whatever's important to you. Now, I think I'm very, very, very impressed when somebody just reeks of a high integrity. That to me is very attractive. And you can see it, and you can identify it in people. You can tell by how they are, how they move through life, how they talk about other people, how they tell you a story. Did they ask about your story? Did they come back with questions for you about yourself? Do they seem interested in you? Are they giving equal airtime? Are they polite to the person that's, waiting on you? Do they make you wonder, is he going to call? If they're straightforward and you don't wonder that, you can tell if somebody has integrity. So even if you don't know them at all and you met them online and they came with no word of mouth from no friend, you just met them. No friend knows them, you met them. You can discern, you can test it out. Now, they might be good, they might be charming, they might be a narcissist, and they might have their behavior down pat. You still have to listen. You have to dissect. You have to hear and acknowledge a red flag when you see one. Can't ignore because you think he's cute. Oh my God, he's so cute. No. So, I still think my narcissist is cute. So, that's it. That's what he was, handsome. That's all he was handsome. And now I don't even look at him as handsome. When he was with me, I looked at him as handsome. Now, the last few times I had seen him was on a video and he looked old and no. But my point is trust. So we need to come up with some kind of system. But I don't want any of us to dive right into it. As you go forward, you can't just automatically, I will not anymore. Now that's going to be a challenge for me when I meet somebody because I automatically see the good in people. I automatically like to think that there's good in people. I automatically like to think that unless they had real intentions, why would they be in front of me putting this effort? Why would they be, maybe you're on a dating site. Why would they be on the dating unless they wanted to date? Why would they be saying they want a relationship if they don't want a relationship? The narcissist came in, how do they say, firing both barrels, saying he wanted a relationship. That he wasn't a part-time lover, that he wasn't taking 20%, that he wanted 120%, and all this. I mean, he sold it to me. I still should have seen and challenged the red flags that I had and said to him, I wasn't planning on going that fast. I'm flattered. You can let them down like that. But no, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. If I had done that, I don't know, maybe my narcissist would have gone on to the next victim. And he wouldn't have been patient and allowed himself to wait for 2 weeks. Oh, well, she's too difficult, too much effort. Maybe they move on. But you bet your sweet Bippy, I'm going to challenge the next one and find out. We're so afraid that they're not going to like us back. We have control, too, whether or not we want them. It's okay to challenge the behavior and see how they act. I'm not playing a game. I'm saying I would like some time. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Dinner was fine, but, we're not married. Maybe you're having dinner with 3 different kinds of people at once. And not all your time do you want to be spent with the one person. But we have to have our eyes open and some kind of system in place as to how you're going to go forward. And I want it to be in my system. I keep thinking of the tipping system. Something like that, because it's very good. It was mathematical, it was concrete, and I just feel that I want something objective in place in my brain so that I can start at 0 and then they gain points as they show me. They gain points as they show me. They gain points as they earn trust, as they act with integrity, as I see evidence of their loyalty or... Do you know what I mean? And not he calls a friend over and has him tell you he's a good guy. That's not what I'm talking about. You see things in your life that he does for his children, for his parents, for himself, for you. and you start to build trust. That's where that phrase comes in, I guess. Build trust. I go in handing them and taking and believing and I go in trusting. It's very dangerous. If you're the type like I am, it's very dangerous to go in trusting like that. And that's one of the things I've been working on, is to try to allow myself. It's taking yourself out of the equation. It's not a matter of whether or not he likes me. That cannot be what I'm thinking of. I have to think of my own comfort level, my own intuition, whether or not I trust this person to go forward. I can't be concerned with not rocking the boat because I don't think they're going to like me. Who cares? Who cares? It's date 1, it's date 3, it's date 10. You're fine. You're fine. If you want to challenge things and make them earn your trust, I would highly recommend it. I will. I absolutely will going forward. Even if that's just a simple thing like, you know what, that was lovely. I'm pretty busy in the next week. See how they handle that in the next week. Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, then I'll see. It could be a very old-fashioned slow courtship. If that's the vibe I give off and he accepts that and it moves along nicely, no red flags, that could grow into something beautiful. If something comes on strong, like all that love bombing and all of this, and they're not tolerable of my boundary of wanting my alone time, all those are red flags, and I will not give over and just assume that I trust somebody that's giving me all those bad signs. So you have to determine what you're going to do going forward. Don't just trust somebody right off the bat. Make them earn it. And I don't mean we have to be mean and removed and cynical. It's not being cynical. I'm going to let them start at 0. I'm going to assume they're basically a decent person that I picked to go out on a date with them. I'm going to assume that now I've at least figured out that they're basically a decent person. Hopefully I didn't get it that wrong. And then if I go out on a date with someone, I'm going to allow myself to let them reveal to me who they are without me telling them who I want them to be. And if they reveal themselves as being trustworthy, then I will put forth and go on that journey with them. But in the beginning, I'm going to keep it light, and I suggest you do the same. You don't want to penalize future people and never trust anybody again. I don't feel that way. I feel I could trust somebody again. So you don't want to do that. You know, I'm never going to trust again. And then everyone's penalized that you forever meet. No, but I'm certainly not going to trust somebody easily again. Or ever again. I mean, I've done that many times, and that's just wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. So, going forward, let's all try to help each other. If you think of a way that you can think of that, like a barometer or a fun, like, scale, like, oh, they get 10 points if they, you know, and I don't mean opening the car door. I think that that's a basic thing that I want right now that needs to be built in. There are certain things that need to be built in that you don't even get points for. That's what my bar is now. My bar is pretty high. So you need to have certain things all ready and still start at ground zero of me thinking you're just a basic, decent person. So it's going to take a lot, but I'm willing to put in the time and effort of getting to know somebody. If they're not with you and they're trying to rush it along, you might want to watch trusting that kind of person. So just keep your eyes open.